Hello everyone, Vicentio from HDTV Test here. I have some good news on a cloudy and grey Saturday morning, just like how it is in Manchester normally. So, Sony has issued a bulletin that promises to address the 4K at 120Hz blur issue on the BRAVIA X900H, also known as the XH90 in the UK and Europe. So, I would like to first thank these Twitter users for bringing this to my attention. And the thing is, I know a bit about television, but I can't be everywhere, at all times. So you guys are my eyes and ears. So thanks again. If we read this bulletin that has been put up by Sony, they are saying that they are aware that there is a blur issue in terms of the 4K 120Hz display from the Sony X900H and also the X90CH, which I believe is an exclusive model to Costco in the USA. And they are pinpointing it as a software issue, which is fair enough because we know that the SoC on the X900H, also the XH90, is one that is fully capable of 48 gigabits per second in terms of the HDMI 2.1 bandwidth. So if we look at the edit readout from this Meridio 7G signal generator, you can see here clearly that the FRL or fixed rate link is 12 gigs at 4 lane, which computes to 48 gigabits per second. So from the hardware point of view, the MediaTek MT5895 SoC on the Sony X900H is capable of passing 4K 120Hz even at say 12-bit 444 chroma without any problem. That's the theory, but clearly there has been an issue in terms of the presentation of 4K at 120Hz resolution, resulting in the text being blurred. And when I put up a test pattern to try and resolve single pixel 4K resolution, it failed to resolve it, when it had this firmware update that allowed for 4K at 120Hz input. So the next line really interests me because what Sony is saying is that they are going to be addressing this issue using a future firmware update. Now, there are two components here that I wish to touch on. So the word addressing is really quite vague in a sense that addressing means that they will deal with the issue. It doesn't necessarily mean that there will be a fix. There may be some sort of mitigation. By mitigation, they may make this issue look better, but there may be some compromises elsewhere. And until we actually get our hands on a review sample of the X900H in the first instance, and also the new firmware, there's just no way to tell. I think increasingly my job is more of a firmware review rather than reviewing televisions. So that's from the first point of view. I just want to set your expectations correct, just be realistic, because inherently I'm a pessimist. Many people watch movies, on their TVs. I look at the letterbox bars to see whether there's any blooming artifacts or any raised black in Dolby Vision. So that's just me. I'm just being a realist, a pessimist, whatever you want to call it. So that is the first part. And the second part is the future. Again, future can be very vague in terms of the rollout of the firmware update. Is it going to be by the end of this year? Is it going to be next year? No one really knows until Sony themselves come out with a solution or mitigation, so to speak. So that's my Saturday morning report, to you, to bring you this news that Sony clearly is aware of this issue. And I think, the reason why they have put out this bulletin is because they may have received many emails and phone calls about this issue from owners of the Sony X900H, not only in the USA, but also in the rest of the world. So even though this bulletin is specifically for the US models, the X900H and also the X90CH, I hope that this firmware will be rolled out to XH90 owners in the rest of the world as well. If you like to watch some of our technical TV reviews, I've created a playlist here. If you like to watch some of our technical TV comparisons, I have compiled another playlist here. If you like to click on it, and I will see you in the next video.